Literally not a cloud out here except right over our destination airport in the middle of nowhere. Thunderstorm.
I mean, are we gonna make it in?
I honestly am not sure.
Really?
Our backup is to go to the Rio Ranch, which is a dirt runway up here. I have a lot to say about that approach to landing. In regard to landing around weather, that's hail.
I'm Josh, a flight instructor and a filmmaker with a passion for the sky, sharing it with those around me and using it to see our world from a new perspective. Flying can seem super complex, and I've made it my mission to showcase safe practices while sharing the beauty we behold on these adventures. This is Aviation 101.
0991, Addison Ground, clear to Hotel Yankee India Airport via on departure, fly runway heading, expect radar vectors, show 49.
Good morning, Austin. Skyhawk 80-991 just off San Marcos, 1,400, climbing 3,000.
Skyhawk 80-991 off departure, radar contact, turn left heading 350, climb and maintain 8,000.
Left to 350 up to 8,000, 80-991.
Thunderstorms. Love them from the ground, but hate them from the air. In the recent feature-length adventure here on Aviation 101, Chelsea and I departed San Marcos, IFR, bound for far west Texas in the heart of the Big Bend. In this video, we're going to take a zoomed-in look into our flight into Lajitas, Texas, and there were some on-the-spot decisions made right there in the cockpit that I think are worth dissecting. It's always cool seeing the hills meet the desert out west, and it looks like you're flying over a giant topographical map spread across the plains.
November 50 vectors first climb, turn 15 degrees to the right.
I asked you if you needed more coffee from the FBO.
I just wanted a little sip.
2 hours and 30 minutes out. Up ahead of us by about 20 minutes is Sonora. I was kind of thinking that would be a good place to stop for gas if we had to, but it's saying 8.5, 9 gallons remaining when we get there. If it says we're going to have a 10-knot tailwind, that actually means we're going to have a 10-knot headwind.
Center, welcome. Understand you're looking for higher.
It says we're going to have a 10-knot headwind, that actually means we're going to have a 20-knot headwind.
Number
But it's shiny.
80-991, contact San Ann, correction, Albuquerque Center 125, correction 13587, 13587, sir.
13587, 80-991, get 8. Afternoon, Albuquerque Center, Skyhawk, November 80-991, 8,000, direct destination.
Skyhawk 80-991, sensor roger, we hit a altimeter 2996.
2996, 80-991, and you're coming in pretty weak here. Do you think that's going to get stronger as we proceed?
November 80-991, negative, my RCAG is based on the port stock, and you're going to be getting further away as you get close to Lajitas.
Roger, 80-991. In that case, we're in great weather out here. Just so we don't miss a call, we'll go ahead and cancel IFR.
November 80-991, Roger, IFR cancellation of C, squawk VFR, for exchange, please get it.
All right, squawk VFR over to advisory, 80-991, get 8. Okay, we're in great weather. No more clouds between us and Lajitas. So that I don't see a point to like sit there and worry about if we're going to miss a radio call from them, then a jet has to relay. And so
We're sitting there with the squelch.
yeah, it's make it easier on everybody, and we'll just go ahead and cancel. We are on our own.
We filed for and cruised at 8,000 feet, but even that's a little too low to maintain radar and radio contact as soon as you hook south and fly deeper into Big Bend. We opted to cancel our IFR flight plan and not get flight following because the controller was just way too hard to hear on the radio without opening up the squelch gate. For those who don't know what a squelch on a radio is, it's basically like a noise gate. The radio will mute its audio output signal if it doesn't pick up a transmission of at least a certain strength. Old school or handheld radios usually have a knob or something dedicated to adjusting that threshold to be able to hear weak transmissions without having to listen through the blank static the whole time. Now, newer radios like the Garmin's have either an automatic squelch that adjusts itself based on the incoming signals, or it has a preset squelch setting that's somewhere deep in the configuration menu. But a feature I use all the time, especially on long cross countries on these radios, and pretty much every modern radio has them, is a quick way to open and close the squelch gate. On the Garmin radios, you just push the volume knob to open it, push it again to close it.
Skyhawk 991, contact Austin departure.
Over to departure. Good morning, 991.
Good morning.
Good morning, Austin. Skyhawk 80 at 991 just off San Marcos, 1,400 climbing 3,000.
Skyhawk 80 991 off departure, radar contact, turn left heading 35.
This allows you to hear any and every signal traversing that frequency. The consequence is you have to sit there listening to mind-numbing static to make sure you don't miss a call. I suspected the controller was going to be hard to hear on my initial contact with him because I've done this flight a few times. Usually that last handoff to Albuquerque Center, you can barely hear them even up at 8,000 feet. So I opened up the squelch. Sure enough, we could barely hear the controller. I asked him if it's going to get any better, and he said not likely. So the signal for us is just going to continuously get weaker and weaker. Now, because we're on an IFR flight plan, I really don't want to risk missing a call from the controller because then an airliner has to relay it, and then there's a delay, and it might cause problems on his end. The weather looks clear, VFR all the way to our destination, and we don't really want to sit there and listen to static for 30 minutes. So we just opted to cancel our IFR flight plan, squawk VFR, and proceed by ourselves.
That cell's developing right by Lajitas. Nice. Literally not a cloud out here except right over our destination airport in the middle of nowhere. Thunderstorm.
I mean, are we gonna make it in?
I honestly am not sure.
Really?
I don't know.
Oh.
Our backup is to go to Tailwind Ranch, which is a dirt runway up here. I mean, realistically, if it does hit the fan,
I'll probably go ahead and do the visual, but
turn and go to
me up for a
Presidio,
practice on that GPS Alpha.
which is like a county airport.
Lajitas International Airport, automated weather observation 1830, Zulu. Wind variable at 3 knots. Peak gusts 10 knots. Visibility 8. Sky condition few at 5,500. Few
There it
at
goes.
6,500. Scattered at 8,000. Temperature 3.5 Celsius. Dew point 1.5 Celsius. Altimeter 2 inches of mercury. Remarks density altitude 5,800.
Alright, he said it's coming down 7, so we'll just play it by ear and be careful when we're doing the left traffic pattern.
There's a thunderstorm developing and kind of wobbling in place right over the Lajitas airport. Now, we're proceeding with caution, but we have our backup plans ready. We'll head to the Presidio airport if possible, and if not, we'll divert to the Tailwind Ranch airport if absolutely necessary. The wind report is favoring runway 7, but that means we'd be turning final with the thunderstorm behind us. You could hear the hesitation in my voice about that.
Lajitas traffic, Skyhawk, November 80 at 991, Cessna 172, 10 miles to the northeast of the field. We're going to be inbound set up for the 45-degree left entry to the downwind, runway 7, full stop, Lajitas. But here's my concern about coming into 7. That means we're going to have our back to the storm, and if it decides to throw a microburst out, it's going to yank the wind out from under us. So I would almost take a little bit of a tailwind on landing on this long runway especially, to land toward the storm. So if it gives us some gusts coming off this cell right here, it's going to be coming in our face, you know what I mean? What do you think?
Yeah, let's get a feel for it, like once we're a little closer. Either way, we're entering from this side, whether we go right or left.
Yeah.
Because it's right pattern for 2-5.
So yeah, we could just enter a right base.
Because that's walking this way, right?
It's kind of wobbling in one spot, but like I'm seeing the Virga coming out of it, and there's potential for downdrafts coming out of that. And then eventually possibly a microburst. These storms can change really fast. Landing 2-5 I think would be my choice.
Okay.
In the FAA's Pilot's Handbook of Aeronautical Knowledge, check out page 12-11 for a great section on low-level wind shear and microbursts. So if we're landing on runway 7 and that thunderstorm decides to throw out a microburst, which will be a very strong column of air forced down to the ground and it spreads out in all directions. If that gust front hits us from behind, it's going to rob us of airspeed. We'll have a strong wind shear coming from behind us. So say we're going 70 knots and it's a 30 knot gust of wind coming from our back. That will all of a sudden bring our airspeed down to 40. We would stall and struggle to maintain control, and we're already low and slow. plenty of fatal accidents have happened as a result of scenarios just like this. On the flip side, if we come into runway 25, the storm will be in front of us. And if it throws a microburst out then, it'll be, for example, a 30-knot gust in our face. It'll be adding to our airspeed. Now, don't get me wrong, it won't be a comfortable situation, but we'll have the performance to safely execute a go-around and climb away from the airport and away from the cell. That'll give us plenty of time to cruise over to safety, regroup, reset, and get ready to execute a second approach, or divert to one of our backup plans. The only caveat to landing on runway 25, in this case with the thunderstorm in front of us, is that according to the AWOS, we're gonna have about a 7-knot tailwind. Now, with a super long runway and no concerning terrain off the end, I will take a 7-knot tailwind any day over the prospect of a possible wind shear coming from behind me on short final. If you have enough runway and you still have your go-around option, landing with a light tailwind is no problem. What's considered a light tailwind depends on what kind of airplane you're flying. But in any case, just fly your normal airspeed and you'll be just fine.
Lajitas International Airport. Automated weather
turning the
observation.
autopilot off.
835 Zulu. Wind 060 at 7 knots. Visibility 8. Sky conditions.
You'll have about a 7-knot tailwind. You just fly your indicated airspeeds and you'll be good. Lajitas traffic, Skyhawk 809091 is approximately 3 miles to the northeast of the field. We're going to set up for right traffic, a right base entry to runway 25 will be a full stop 25 landing toward the thunderstorm. Lajitas. All right, I'm going to back you up on your checklist. Brakes pedal test.
Got 'em.
Got your lights, minimums, autopilot's off. Mixture is set. Heartbeat. The slicker. And flaps when you're in the wide arc. Your landing checklist complete. Lajitas traffic, Skyhawk 809091 is turning final runway 25 full stop. Lajitas.
500.
And it's now started heavy.
Looking great. On the mains.
I could tell we were going fast, like, but it felt okay.
Good job. Good
Thank
landing. Smell that rain. This brings a song to mind. Like a West Texas rain.
Whoa, welcome back.
Welcome back. A little bit different this time. I'm very glad we landed with that to our face.
I am too, and I think it helped with the situational awareness of like tracking that, and then if we had to do a go around, like where that was gonna be.
Yeah, just the whole prospect of a potential microburst scares the crap out of me. Yeah.
809091, we're going to use second entrance to ramp, second entrance.
Second entrance, got it. Here comes some more rain. I can really feel it on my hand.
We got in perfect timing.
Yeah, in the nick of time, man. Jeez. Got the Jeep running for us and everything. He's bringing us all the way in. Red carpet service.
Oh.
Gary marshaled us straight into the hangar so we could unload all of our stuff and put it in the Jeep out of the rain. And I'm very grateful he decided to do that for us. I have a lot to say about that approach to landing in regard to landing around weather, and despite the wind pretty much even still favoring runway 7, we opted to land runway 25 because that would be toward the storm, and that storm was developing. It was entering the mature phase, and it was becoming apparent that it could throw a microburst at the ground really at any time. We could see the downdrafts in the rain bands and in the Virga. That's hail. That is hail. And if it was not golf ball size before, that was every bit of golf ball size hail. Hitting the asphalt and shattering, little pellets coming all into the hangar. I mean, some of the The broken pieces of the hail in the hangar here are almost golf ball sized. We could not have gotten more lucky with our timing coming in here. And Gary here said it has not rained in 4 months. I guess we brought it with us, but dang. That storm was just right on the edge of my comfort zone in terms of a cell in proximity to the airport that I'm trying to land at. And about 10 or 15 minutes after we got wheels on the pavement, hail began. When you encounter weather like this, don't mess around with it. Take precautions, have a backup plan, assume the worst possible thing is gonna happen at the worst possible time, and if you're feeling uneasy about the situation at any time, follow that intuition and act accordingly. I hope you found this video insightful. Please leave your feedback down in the comments below, and in the next video, we're gonna talk about the flight out of here where we found ourselves stuck on top of a solid cloud layer. And we'll highlight picking up an airborne IFR clearance and coordinating an IFR diversion with air traffic control. Until next time, you know the drill. I want you to stay happy and healthy, stay current in your flying, but most importantly, stay proficient. We'll see you in the next video right here on Aviation 101. Fly safe.